Okay, hello, I am Emily Tallman. I'm a representative of COSTA from the English department, and I'm going to be interviewing Christopher Mangels. Is that how you say your last name? Mangels? From the theater department. You ready? All right, so the first question on our list is, what's your favorite food truck or favorite food?
My favorite food is Thai food. I haven't found a food truck with Thai food that has grabbed me, but I like a lot of food trucks.
Good. All right. And your main reason that you chose teaching?
I think to find the opportunity to sort of guide people, and because I'm in the theater and I'd worked professionally, I think what I was missing as a student myself was people who would sort of demystify the process. It always felt like it was some esoteric, unobtainable thing, and I felt like it could be something that was more accessible than that. And I also thought that we needed arts training more in the community, whether people wanted to go into professional theater or not.
Definitely. Good. And what are the courses that you teach?
I carry almost double a full-time load. So I teach American cinema, international cinema, introduction to the theater, Shakespeare, intermediate acting classical, intermediate acting early realism. I teach stagecraft, stage movement, stage combat. I direct shows. I design the sets for all of the shows. And I'm sure there's other stuff too, but I don't remember.
That's a lot. You're a busy guy.
I am.
So what is your proudest non-teaching accomplishment?
I would say raising my daughter.
Good answer.
With my wife. She's awesome, and we're really proud of her, and she's been through a lot of challenges, and she's great.
And what is something that most people don't know about your past? Maybe like pre-teaching.
Perhaps that before I got the job at COS, I was bartending in Malibu professionally.
Cool. And what movie could you watch 1,000 times?
Raising Arizona, Coen Brothers.
Oh, yeah. What is your late work policy?
I do 24 hours late for 50% reduction. Super secret on the down low. A lot of times I don't penalize the student as long as they turn the work in, but it gives them a chance to feel like they can catch up. And if the student seems like they're just not trying to get the work done, I usually will do the penalty. But if they reach out to me, I almost always will excuse the penalties. And
your absence policy?
Well, pre-COVID, I was a stickler for being present because it's really hard to do collaborative art in the theater if you're not showing up. But now that we are where we are, my absence policy is if you do not submit work for 2 weeks consecutively, then there's the potential of being dropped. But I usually try to encourage students, if they're not feeling the class or not enjoying where they're at, that they drop themselves. I try not to do that. If I do drop students, invariably I'm doing it to save them the F on their record and let them get out with the W. So.
Mm-hmm. What would be one piece of advice that you give to your students?
It's not all about you. It's not all about any of us. Not everybody needs to know our opinion on every single subject. And humble yourself as part of your community.
And do you have any pets?
Yes, I have a 17-and-a-half-year-old cat that lives with me at my mom's house in Exeter. And then my wife and my puppy live in Chicago. And my puppy is a 1-year-old miniature schnauzer combined with a devil. So he's awesome.
Now, this is a fun question. It says, Sunday, hike a mountain or kill zombies?
I do not watch Walking Dead. I used to. I would say, though, do that good work, save the world. That's what I would have to say.
What is your favorite recent teaching moment?
I would say learning how to be a much more patient educator because of COVID and remote learning.
Mm-hmm.
I think having students reach out at the end of a semester that I know were struggling and saying that they felt connected even through the remote, and that really mattered to them. I think that was probably, it's not like one moment, but I think I feel like
Mm-hmm.
I'm much more present now that I had to consciously be present online than I was sometimes in the face-to-face course. And I think the recognition for myself was powerful.
And where do you like to go on a long weekend?
Chicago to see my wife. I just got back actually yesterday morning, right before class.
I was suspecting that was going to be your answer before I asked the question. Do you do things now or wait until the last minute?
It depends. The goal is to not wait till the last minute. The reality is often that I am chasing the train down the tracks. So,
other career that you would pursue?
Well, acting and directing. I still do it, but not really professionally anymore. But I did pursue it for a long time. And I would say, though, if I wasn't going to do that at all, it would probably, oh goodness, maybe being a chef. I love cooking. It's a very cathartic experience.
Nice. What's your favorite anxiety reliever?
Zoloft.
What's one inanimate object you take to a deserted island?
An inanimate object I'd take to a deserted island. Probably the complete works of William Shakespeare.
Occupy you for a while.
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing about your job?
I think helping people see beyond the limits of what they have come to expect in their community, probably.
Okay. Office decor, minimalist or maximalist?
I would say it's a healthy balance. I like to have some things, but it's not too much. So.
The biggest obstacle that you would remove for your students, if you could.
Tech divide, I guess. The digital divide. If I could, I would create a system where a student coming into COS automatically gets assigned, technology, and then also is trained on it as part of the receipt of it, so that they feel more confident navigating things.
That would be great. And what is the best thing about being a COSTA member?
I think the spirit in the community is really healthy. I've been at COS for 15 years, and I'm really happy to see how supported I feel by COSTA, and how supported I feel through the relationship with administration now too that we enjoy. I think it's very respectful, and I always think that everybody's kind of coming to the table with a sense of like, how do we collaborate on this, not how do we take advantage or have to give up. I think that's really helpful.
All right. So thank you for talking to us today.
Thanks so much.
Is there anything going on in the theater that you want to plug?
Sure. We are, my colleague, James McDonald, and I, and our whole department, we are doing a Shakespeare show that will be performed in October on the Visalia campus one weekend, on the Tulare campus the second weekend, and on the Hanford campus the third weekend. And it will be free. Come see it, bring picnic, sit out in the stars, and enjoy the fresh air.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks so much.